Hey guys, my name is Joey Thomas, entrepreneur and small business educator here with 17 Hats. Today I want to give you 7 tips on how to stand out when your market is saturated. So a saturated market occurs when an existing business or the existing businesses in an area meet all the current demand for a product or service. Now, as a lot of you are creative entrepreneurs, and you know, big city or small, that there's a lot of creative professionals out there. Whether you're in photography or a makeup artist or wedding planner or balloon artist, whatever you might be, you find that your market could be saturated. And in a saturated market, it can be a little challenging to know what to do to stand out. So hopefully in this short little video that I can give you just a few ideas to get those brain juices flowing, right? Just to wrap your head around what you need to do in a saturated market. So let's dive right into this today. All right, so number 1, first and foremost, you need to identify the gap in the market. Now, what do I mean by the gap in the market? Is there a problem in the market that doesn't have a solution? Is there a demand in the market that's not being met? Now, this is where you can create an offer, a solution, and you need to be able to communicate that solution very, very clearly to fit the gap and to meet the need. I see this a lot when you look through Instagram ads. There's a lot of companies that do a great job of that, and they use video marketing a lot of times to show that. Now, back in the day, you know, I used to love TV, and watching TV, you see all of those OxyClean commercials and ShamWow commercials, right? They show you what the problem is, and you're just frustrated with the problem, and your regular solution just doesn't meet the need. And then bam, comes in ShamWow, and it just solves the problem, and everyone's so impressed. Well, we don't have to be that quirky about it. Now, you can use your personality in any way that you want to communicate it, but fill that gap. And there's a lot of things, a lot of problems that are still not solved out in the market. Okay, next. You want to choose a niche. Now, I have a whole video called To Niche or Not to Niche, and it is about the advantages of choosing a niche. Now, my personal opinion is that choosing a niche is very beneficial, and you'll know that by listening to my other videos. Now, is there a subgroup? Now, what do I mean by niche? Is there a subgroup from the main market that you are targeting that needs a little bit more TLC, a little bit more attention? Let's look at some examples. If you're a travel agent, right, there's a lot of travel agents out there, but how many travel agents specialize in travel to Asia or to Europe, right? So if you were to niche down, you're going to get all of the people that want to travel there, or a lot of the people. And you know, the benefit of niching down is that you ultimately come off as the expert in the area. Now, if you're a makeup artist, I've seen people who are eyelash specialists, or if you're a hairstylist, they just do blowouts and blow drying. There's a whole business called the blow bar, or the dry bar, that's just based on blowouts and styling, and it's an amazing business. If you're a chef, right, what do you specialize in? Maybe you can specialize in gluten-free parties or gluten-free menus, right? If you're a photographer, maybe specialize in children between the ages of 10 and 12. I think they call them tweens. Or if you're a real estate agent, specialize in 7-figure homes. Whatever it might be, choosing a niche can help you break through market saturation. All right, next, differentiate your brand identity. Now, I'm going to tell you this, that no one has your unique set of skills, behaviors, values, and personality. You have a monopoly on you. That means even though there are a lot of people that might be offering your service or product, no one is you, right? So put it on full display and stand out from the crowd. Define what makes you different, and go out and embrace it. I highly recommend working with an expert in branding to help you draw out what makes you special and translate it into your logo, your colors, your slogans, your brand style, and personality. I want you to strive to become unforgettable. Now, think about some of the unforgettable experiences that you've had, maybe at a really nice restaurant or another brand, or just doing something fun. What did they do that made you go back to them, right? There are some movies that are unforgettable, and I've watched it many, many times. And I know the plot, I know the lines, but man, there's something that makes it special. So you want to make sure to differentiate your brand identity and become unforgettable. Next, be known for an amazing client experience. I have another video out there just on the client experience. Guys, when the beauty about an awesome client experience is that you get people talking. You get people sharing online. They can't wait to take videos of maybe an unboxing of a special product, or when your service is done, they just want to show you some love and they take it to social media. That's the beauty about an amazing client experience, because it's people-centered. It's all about bringing joy and satisfaction to your clients, and you do that through an amazing client experience. And trust me, guys, no matter how many people are in your market offering the same service or product, those amazing client experiences are few and far between. So focus on it, plan on it, strategize for it. Think about every stage on how your client interacts with you and make it unique and special. People will talk about it, and it will increase the number of referrals that you get. Next, build value and trust. Now, how do you go about doing that? I know those two words get thrown around a lot, but you being the trusted advisor and expert in the niche that you offer will help you stand out from the crowd. The more you give, the more they trust you. The more value you offer and the more value you add to a set of consumers, the more they're willing to invest in what you're offering compared to your competitors. Let's talk about makeup artists again. If you're a makeup artist, you can partner with a local cosmetics store. Maybe there is a boutique nearby, and offer a free workshop on how to do better makeup at home. It doesn't have to be long. And a lot of times, the cosmetic store that you're partnering with can blast out an email to their consumers, and now you're building trust. You are becoming the expert, and people can do those things at home. That doesn't mean they're not gonna hire you, because for special events, for dinners, for those type of things, they're still gonna want your services because you're the one who taught them how to do it better. So offer value and build that trust. It goes a long, long way, guys. Okay, next, clearly communicate how your solution solves a specific problem. Okay, clearly communicate how your solution solves a specific problem. Now, we mentioned a little bit of that in filling a gap. That was about coming up with a unique solution. But this is about communicating the solution, right? There's a lot of risk involved when someone chooses a brand. They have to constantly analyze that risk and make a decision. It's not easy. It's really stressful when there's a lot to choose from. Have you ever gone to an amazing Tex-Mex restaurant and you open the menu and there's like 70 pages of all kinds of things to choose? It can be a little overwhelming, right? And you're just thinking, oh my gosh, I really wanted to come to this restaurant, and what if I choose the wrong thing? And there's a lot of risk involved. So in pictures, when they put pictures, it helps a lot. But they have to constantly analyze the risk. See, the better you can communicate how your solution works differently or better, or just how it works, the less risk they assume. They can breathe again, right? So, for example, that's the same as showing a picture in a menu, because now you could read all the words and you can imagine what it looks like, but the moment it's communicated visually, it makes you feel better about how it's gonna taste. And your clients are no different. See, let's use a photographer, for example, or a wedding photographer. When couples are choosing a photographer for their wedding, man, they have to sift through hundreds and hundreds of options. But if you can communicate, whether it's on social media or maybe it's on an initial email or the first time you get on a phone call with them, if you can communicate how your solution works and identify how your method solves the problem, it takes away some of that tension. Let's give it a specific problem. One thing, there's a lot of horror stories out there about people not getting their images, right, after a wedding. Maybe it takes 6 months, maybe it takes a year, maybe people lose it. I see all the time of people losing images. Unfortunately, it's a horrible situation, but it happens. Now, if that's a problem that exists, and maybe they don't even know that's a problem they need to care about, but if I wanted to communicate that, I can talk about how I back up my files. Or let's just say there's a problem that exists where it's a rainy day and they're concerned about how their images are gonna look. You can communicate how you use your lighting. Let's even say, earlier I was talking about the delivery of the files, not losing files, but the delivery of the files. You can actually schedule a specific delivery date right on the day of the shoot so they feel confident and comfortable with when they're going to get it back and when they can start enjoying. Here's the beauty of this. You don't even have to have the best solution. You don't even have to be the fastest turnaround time in case of a photographer. You don't. You simply have to remember to communicate it. Because sometimes that's all it takes, because a lot of others, your competitors, may not be doing that at all, and they leave it up to the imagination of the consumer to guess what is happening. So communicate how your solution solves a specific problem, and it goes a long way in cutting through the noise. Next, clarify and communicate your values. Guys, in a saturated market, it's easier for people to look for things that stand out, and they're looking for it. And sometimes it might not be your product, it might not be your logos, it might not be your pretty words, but it could be just your values. The more you communicate your values and clarify your values, the more they feel they know who you are. People want to know who's behind the brand. And the better they can understand who's behind the brand, the more they can trust you and like you and feel like they're connected with you. They don't just buy services or products. They buy into the concept of who you are, and that's communicated through your brand values. So be very clear about what your core values are, and don't be afraid to share it. Tell your story. Tell why you value what you value and how it drives what you do. And when you do that and people know that you have a why, they believe that you're going to deliver on your promise. So guys, those were some ideas and tips to help you stand out in a saturated market. I know that that's not the be all end all, but hopefully it sets you down the right path or starting to think about what you can do to cut through the noise. And there's a lot of competition out there, but you are different, you are capable, and you are able to stand out in markets such as this. So guys, don't forget to subscribe to the 17 Hats channel and like this video. Use the comments to let us know how you have stood out from the market, or if you're facing a challenge in standing out with your market. We'd love to talk to you. Till next time, guys, we'll see you again soon.